I'm Esther Dillard on the Black Information Network, chatting with writers and authors who offer an added perspective for our listeners. This is The Color Between the Lines. On this edition of The Color Between the Lines, we're talking with a returning author by the name of B.B. Alston. He is back with his third children's book in a series, and this book is called Amari and the Despicable Wonders. The first of two books in a trilogy of middle grade fantasy books follows the adventures of a young Black girl who learns that she has magical powers and that her family is connected to a hidden magical world that is in danger. Welcome, B.B. Alston, to the BIN.
How are you guys doing? Glad to be here.
I'm so glad you're back because I was hoping that we'd get a chance to talk again. This book was fun. I was like a nail biter all the way to the very, very end. And I love
Awesome.
the fact that you put in all the little goodness all in between there. And you, even if you didn't read the first two books, you still can follow because you put enough in there to kind of explain things. Um, you wrote that writing this third book was kind of difficult, and I hope that you could explain why. Why was that?
Well, we had originally started planning for this to be a trilogy, and then we ended up making it 5 books. And so making that transition to making it 5 books, expanding the arc, and only have a little more time. And then a lot of life stuff was going on too. My mom was sick. She's got some things going on, and so there's a lot of life stuff got in the way. But I got through it, and I think it's probably my best story. I think it is anyway. Hopefully, readers agree.
Mhm.
So I'm anxious to see what people think.
Wow. Wow. Was it a little pressure for you in trying to like live up to the last two books that I read? Was it worrisome that it wasn't going to be as juicy, or what were your thoughts?
I think there's always a little bit of worry because when you're writing a series, you kind of get the reader expectations, and then your publisher has certain expectations of you, and so you're kind of hoping you meet those. But I got a really good piece of advice that said, all you can really do is write the best book you can, and then everything that happens after that is kind of out of your control. And so I try to write the best book I can. I hope readers come along with the ride, and I hope they enjoy it.
Mhm. Now, this is book number three, right? And
Yeah,
then
number three. Yeah,
and you are
yeah,
going to
two
do
more.
two more.
Yeah, two more. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. So can you give us any idea what the next one is going to kind of be like? I know she's leaving in the around
Mhm,
the end of the book, but
mhm.
you got to tell me kind of get an idea where you might be going, or no clues at all.
Oh yeah, at the end of this book, she does kind of make a big decision about what she's going about her future in the book, and so I think book four is just find a cool way to kind of pull her back in, and and I don't want to spoil it too much, but needless to say, she gets pulled back in, and there's not a lot more fun, and excitement, and all that kind of stuff too.
Right. Well, for those who don't know you, I know that
Mhm.
your journey into writing was a little bit of a different kind of journey than most writers. You started out as a medical, in trying to go toward the medical profession and then
Yeah,
made a U-turn. So can you tell us a
yeah.
little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, I had been trying to write for years and years. It just wasn't happening. I think anybody who tries to pursue anything like creative would know that you get tons of rejections because a lot of people wants to do wants a creative job, and so there's not a lot of spaces. And so I had given it a certain amount of years, nothing had come of it, and I was like, well, maybe it's time to turn my attention to something more practical. And so I started doing my med school thing, got accepted to a school up in Pennsylvania, and so I was just kind of doing my paperwork one day, and I saw my phone. I had a tweet, and it had like a pitch contest for books, and I was like, well, what do I have to lose at this point, right? So I put in my pitch, not thinking it's gonna have enough of it, and right then I agent liked it, and kind of everything kind of blew up from there. We had like the book got sold in 30 different countries. They got a movie deal, and lots of exciting stuff. So yeah, just one moment kind of changed your whole life.
And I love the fact that you used a young lady. She's a young Black girl, housing projects. She has a lot of things that she deals with in the first two parts of the book. At the third one, she doesn't deal with a lot of discrimination type of things, but you more or less kind of stuck to a different kind of story. Was it difficult kind of weaving in all of those different nuances into the book, especially when it comes to discrimination?
Not too much because I think even amidst all the magic and the myths and all, I mean, I think the core of the story is like a young black girl learn to believe in herself and kind of learn to accept herself, learn that the things about her make her unique, they make her special too. And so, just the concept of otherness, I kind of played that in the first book, of being like being separated from everyone else. She starts off at like a private school, and she doesn't look like it, like most of the other kids, and she doesn't have the kind of means that they have. And so just kind of seeing her find her voice and her courage and kind of being resilient as she overcomes that. I think I tried to carry that over through most of the books too. Yeah.
What prompted you, I guess, to first write this series? Because I'm sure that there might have been many other things rolling around in your mind to, kind of grow and create. But why this
Mhm.
one?
So it started off with me. One of my favorite movies is Men in Black, and so I was just watching it one day, and I kind of had the idea, like, what if it wasn't just aliens living among us? What if it was all the crazy creatures that kind of myth from myths and legends, like zombies, and maybe you have a werewolf that lives next door or something. Let's fun stuff like that. And so I wondered, like, okay, how would that agency be different? How would it have to be bigger and more, and do more things to accommodate so many different kinds of creatures? And once I had the world done, I just kind of tinkered with that until Amari popped into my head, and then it was just a matter of making it a story. And once you have a character in a setting, just at that point, it's just a matter of putting them together.
What kind of reaction have you gotten from middle-aged readers from this book? I know that middle-aged readers tend to like fantasy and adventure because it's
Mhm.
creative and you're trying to figure out,
Yeah.
you can put different things in your head and kind of create things. But what kind of a response have you gotten so far?
Oh man, I got a huge response. I mean, they love it. I think the most fun thing is getting their messages and their letters and their emails, saying what characters they love and, where they hope the story goes. And sometimes you get really heartfelt ones like, Mari faces some bullying in the first book, and maybe those kids that face some bullying and seeing how Mari helped them through that time. I mean, like, you can't get more gratifying than that. And so it's
Mm.
been a really positive response, and I'm really grateful for it.
Now, you mentioned that there may be movie plans in the works. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we were with Universal. We were really close to making an announcement a little while ago. Things got delayed, so we're hoping this year is going to be the year that we can kind of put some concrete plans together and make an announcement. And it's been an issue. We got a lot of talented people working on it, so I'm really excited. We're done with the screenplay, so now we're just kind of on Laura director to kind of get things kicked off. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works out.
What was your thoughts when when someone said, "We think we want to make this a movie"? What was that like?
Man, that was so surreal. Like I got to talk to Don Cheadle on the phone. Like that was a crazy conversation. Just it feels like that's felt like a different world than the rest of us. That celebrity world. And so, just to hear people like that tell you they're excited about the book and they like the story, and that just means a lot to you. And I'm excited. Hopefully this is the year. So like I said, fingers crossed.
Hmm. What's next for you as far as do you want to keep this go another two books, but do you have
Mhm.
maybe another story that you're kind of thinking about in the back of your mind that you want are working on?
Well, I've had a couple things like kind of percolating back there, but nothing like too concrete yet. I know we have the two more books with these, and there's also talk about having some graphic novels. 'Cause I know a lot of kids gravitate toward graphic novels, and so I think that'd be a fun way to get some kids into the series that maybe not maybe find that like reading the actual book gonna be a little daunting. I think that'd be a fun way to get them into the books.
Finally, there's a lot of writers who, aspire to do a lot of what you do, especially as an African American trying to break into a whole nother area of writing, especially, fantasy writing and things like that. What would you suggest for them if they're interested? They've been, dabbling here and there, but there's nothing that they've ever gotten published or done, in a significant way. What would you suggest that they do to kind of get themselves out there?
I think the first thing you should do is probably is read widely and find out what you like and what you don't like, and that'll give you kind of like some really um, some guidelines of what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and that'll give you some story skills like what to look for because you can when you read a book and you say that really worked, I really like the way they did that. That's something you can incorporate into your own story, and that kind of gives you like a little guideline to get your skills a little higher to write your own stories. And I think once you read well, then you should start writing. I mean, just write for yourself at first. Like don't try to write, thinking you're gonna write the next super bestseller your first time out. Like just write for yourself, for the experience of it, for the fun of it, and let it be something you love. Because this kind of like I said, trying to get into any kind of creative field can be difficult and challenging, and you get a lot of no's, a lot of rejections. And so if you can do it for the love of it, then there's always gonna be a part of it that's gonna want to keep writing, even with that. So that'll be my advice.
Should you go into contests or, what would that be a good way to go or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what happened for me. Like a pitch contest worked for me. So I mean, I think that's a great way to get your work out there, especially if you're like if you're a little further along and you're more interested in the side of like trying to get it out there. I'd say it's pitch contests. There's all kind of like mentorship programs with authors that you can join. I'm not sure. I think author mentor match is a program. I think it might still be around where you can get paired up with an author who's like already in the industry and they'll kind of mentor you through the process. That's always been a really positive experience. And so I think just stuff like that, contests, find mentorship programs, other writers looking at too. There's the SCBWI. It's specifically for kid authors. I mean, kid-led authors. They have conferences to kind of mentor young authors. So I think any of those programs would be great if you're trying to start things off.
When you go to those readings and you talk to students, what what sticks with you the most when you go to those kind of readings and you get a chance to talk to some of the kids that have been really reading your books?
I think it's just excitement. Like with there's a certain joy you have at that age that I don't know, when you get older and more cynical, you kind of feel like you kind of lose that. But they just have it in abundance and it's natural and it just comes out. And I think that's just infectious. And I love to try to tap into it as much as possible. And it makes me feel a little young myself. So that's probably what I take away from just how excited they are and how engaged they are. Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Well, I do love fantasy because it does get your creative juices flowing, and I always
Hmm.
believe that being creative is so important when it comes to
Yeah,
writing, whether it is straight news or not. But being able to just think in your mind and put a picture in someone else's mind is such a I don't know, it's just a great thing and a really good skill in which when
yeah.
you're able to do it well. Well, thank you so much, BB Alston, for joining us on the BIN.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks so much.
And that's it for this edition of The Color Between the Lines. The book is called Amari and the Despicable Wonders, and the author is BB Alston. I'm Esther Dillard on the Black Information Network.